10 infamous WWE Backstage real wrestling fights. Number 10. JBL and Joey Styles. JBL is known for his terrible bullying actions that have seen him become a very controversial figure in WWE's history, with some fans despising him and what he did to many of the talents backstage at shows. He attempted to do the same thing to Joey Styles, with the commentator being a victim of JBL's hazing during a WWE tour of Iraq, with JBL spending several days just verbally bullying Styles for no reason. Eventually, Styles had heard enough and the two men brawled until they were separated by other talent. But Joey managed to land one final shot that was the hammer blow, flattening the bully. Number 9. Chris Jericho and Brock Lesnar. Chris Jericho is someone who is known for not being scared of getting into a fight, and he doesn't seem to care whether he's the underdog in that situation either, as Y2J once squared up to a legitimate MMA fighter, Brock Lesnar. The two WWE veterans didn't end up fighting as they were split apart in guerrilla position, but Jericho happily pushed the beast and let him know he was down for a scrap as he tried to stick up for Randy Orton after seeing Lesnar bust Orton open to end their SummerSlam 2016 main event. Jericho confronted Lesnar, believing he did that off script, and immediately wanted a fight to get back for his friend. Number 8. Sheamus and Yoshi Tatsu. Some fans might have forgotten or not even know about Yoshi Tatsu, but he was a mid-card and jobber for WWE during the very start of Sheamus' main roster career, and the two men had a real-life brawl. The pair lived together alongside Ted DiBiase Jr., and the fight reportedly came out of the Celtic Warrior being a little messy to live with, not cleaning things up. After Tatsu threw a dirty protein shaker at Sheamus, the Irishman challenged him to a fight. However, little did Sheamus know that Tatsu was trained to legitimately fight during his time in Japanese dojos, and he won the fight, beating up Sheamus quite badly. Number 7. Curt Hennig and Brock Lesnar. Another entry for Brock Lesnar here, proving why the Beast likes the company of himself rather than others. This brawl took place on an airplane and had pretty much everyone on board fearing for their safety. Mr. Perfect was reportedly incredibly drunk on the plane and attempted to wrestle the Beast. And with Lesnar being new to the business, listened to Paul Heyman, who told him he would need to silence Hennig. Lesnar did just that as he dominated Hennig in their fight, charging him into the plane door, which according to reports, almost took it off as the pair were quickly ripped apart and Hennig was fired. Number 6. Cara and Simon Gotch. Both of these men have been involved in several backstage fights during their time in WWE, and Cara is known as someone that you wouldn't want to mess with in a real life fight, because he has come off on top of all of them, including this. Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer described this fight as a quick and one-sided destruction, as the masked wrestler got the better of Gooch and ensured that he won the fight cleanly. There haven't been many reports about why they started the fight in the first place, but just the location of WWE catering being known, but it was another notch on Sin Cara's reputation. Number 5. Vince McMahon and Bret Hart. This is probably the most infamous backstage fight, as it comes from a topic that has been converted to death in wrestling, which is the Montreal Screwjob, with tensions at an all-time high between Bret Hart and Vince McMahon. After McMahon made the decision to screw Bret out of the title, without the hitman knowing, Bret's reaction was visibly clear as he spat on the boss and trashed the ringside area, eventually hitting the back with Vince. The pair headed into an office to discuss what had taken place, which obviously led to a huge argument with both men getting hot about the situation. Bret punched Vince, leaving him with a huge black eye as he left to work for WCW. Number 4. Randy Savage and Road Warrior Hawk. Two of WWE's biggest stars from the past clearly rubbed each other the wrong way one day, and even though the exact reason for this crap isn't known, what was clear was who the winner was, and that man was Road Warrior Hawk. The tag team star ended up knocking the Macho Man out clean, but that wasn't the end of the situation, with Randy Savage failing to leave things at the first initial encounter, eventually sucker punching Hawk 3 years later to get his revenge. This took place backstage at a concert and eventually ended up with other people getting involved and Hawk's wife being hurt. But whatever the issue was between these two, it was clearly a big one. Number 3. Big Show and Great Khali. Just imagine a brawl between two men the size of Big Show and Great Khali. While we have seen them collide inside the ring, seeing them actually fight is a totally different thing, and is a real King Kong vs Godzilla moment in real life. The pair had what is known as a giant heat backstage, with Big Show not being happy with the fact that Khali started to use his chop in the corner, something that Big Show had been known for doing. Big Show confronted Khali backstage about the situation, and things escalated to the point where a fight broke out in the locker room, with another monster in Kane being the only person being able to split them up. Number 2. Vince McMahon, Kurt Angle, and The Undertaker. This one is one of those stories that's so ridiculous you would think it actually happened as part of Monday Night Raw, but instead, this triple threat fight actually took place thousands of feet in the air on an airplane. Kurt Angle and Vince McMahon had been messing with each other for a while, trying to take each other down, with Vince proving just how crazy he is. On one plane journey, the Olympic gold medalist decided to get revenge and take down the boss. However, during the moment the pair woke up, a sleeping Undertaker who saw them wrestling and thought it was a real fight jumped to the aid of Vince and choked out Angle until he was made aware of the situation, showing where his loyalties were. Number 1. Batista and Booker T. Both Batista and Booker T have been known for being slightly hot-tempered at times, often not being able to control their anger, and during a photo shoot to promote an upcoming pay-per-view that got the best of them both as they had a real-life fight. Apparently, a younger and cockier Batista was rather arrogantly bragging about SmackDown's ratings being better than Raw's, the brand where Booker worked, and eventually Booker confronted him about the situation. Things only got worse from that point on as they quickly began fighting, but despite the size and advantage, it was Booker who came out on top, getting the best of Batista in what was a 30-second brawl.
Off the ropes, always untamed, on guard when I step in the ring. WWE, all eyes on me. King of the ring, who you came to see? It's a big show, so let your friends know. Only the strong survive. Face to face, look your opponent up in the eyes. Crowd cheering, fan favorite, I'm the main event. Had them all waiting, my finish move, they anticipating. Laid out like you, son.